Welcome to the Serene Science channel. You are about to embark on a profound journey into the intersection of biological science and spiritual discipline. Have you ever wondered why, for millennia, the most enlightened minds have combined the deprivation of food with the focus of prayer to achieve higher states of consciousness? Today, we are exploring the 100 sleep facts about fasting and prayer. This is not just a list, it is a comprehensive guide to how your body and soul synchronize during the hours of darkness. As you listen, whether you are preparing for rest or seeking clarity during a long drive, let the science calm your mind and the facts guide your spirit. We begin now. Part 1. The Biospiritual Foundation. Fact 1. The altar of metabolic silence and the prefrontal cortex. The journey begins with the concept of metabolic silence. Biologically, the human body spends up to 30% of its daily energy on the mechanical and chemical processes of digestion. When you fast, this massive energy reserve is suddenly liquidated and made available to the central nervous system. Specifically, we see an upregulation of activity in the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain responsible for high-level executive function, moral reasoning, and spiritual contemplation. Spiritually, this is known as clearing the altar. In ancient traditions, the stomach was seen as a second brain, often filled with the noise of worldly desires. By silencing this noise through fasting, you are neurologically tuning your brain to perceive the subtle, higher-order frequencies of peace that are typically drowned out by the roar of digestion. This silence is not empty. It is a pressurized state of potential where the spirit can finally be heard. The science of this fact lies in the redirection of blood flow from the splanchnic bed to the cerebral arteries, providing the oxygen necessary for the intense focus required in deep, nocturnal prayer. Fact 2. The neurochemistry of humility and gabergic surrender in the intersection of science and spirituality. Humility is not just a moral virtue, it is a neurochemical state. As the body enters ketosis during a fast, the liver produces beta-hydroxybutyrate, which travels to the brain and alters the glutamate-GABA ratio. Glutamate is the gas pedal of the brain, associated with anxiety, overthinking, and the ego-driven survival mind. GAB, gamma-aminobutyric acid, is the brake pedal, the primary inhibitory neurotransmitter that induces a state of calm and surrender. Spiritually, fasting is an act of humilia, physical acknowledgement of our dependence on a higher power. Biologically, this is mirrored by the surge in GABA, which chemically quiets the ego's defenses. When you pray in this state, your words are not fighting against a wall of mental static. Instead, they fall into a fertile GABA-rich soil, allowing for a profound sense of oneness and spiritual submission. This is the neurobiology of the broken spirit that many traditions speak of, a mind that has been softened by the fast to receive the peace of the divine. Fact 3. The pineal gland, purification. And the seat of the soul. Fact 3 takes us to the pineal gland, often called the third eye, or the seat of the soul. This small, pinnacle-shaped gland in the center of the brain is responsible for secreting melatonin, the hormone of darkness and sleep. However, modern lifestyles, filled with fluoride and high-sugar diets, led to pineal calcification, where the gland becomes encrusted with calcium phosphate, dulling its spiritual and biological sensitivity. Fasting triggers a systemic shift in mineral metabolism that can help decalcify this sacred area. Spiritually, this is seen as the opening of the internal eye of revelation. As you engage in prayer before sleep, the pineal gland, now liberated from metabolic clutter, secretes a more pure form of melatonin, sometimes accompanied by trace amounts of endogenous DMT-like compounds. This leads to what mystics call illuminated sleep, where dreams are no longer chaotic reflections of the day's stress, but clear, vivid, and spiritually significant visions. Science confirms that a purified pineal gland is more sensitive to the subtle electromagnetic shifts that occur during deep prayer, creating a gateway between the physical and the infinite. Fact 4. The glymphatic cleanse and the removal of spiritual dross. One of the most remarkable discoveries in sleep science is the glymphatic system, the brain's unique waste clearance system. During sleep, and especially during a fast, the brain's glial cells shrink, allowing cerebrospinal fluid (CSF) to wash through the tissue, removing metabolic byproducts like beta-amyloid plaques, espiritually. This process is the physical manifestation of purgation, or the removal of spiritual dross. In mystical traditions, the night is a time for the soul to be washed clean of the day's attachments. The science of this fact is found in the pulsatile flow of the CSF, which is synchronized with your heart rate and breathing. When you pray with rhythmic, slow breaths before bed, you are literally pumping the cleansing fluid through your brain. You are not just thinking about being clean. Your body is performing a physical baptism of the neurons. This ensures that when you enter the deepest stages of sleep, your brain is not burdened by the trash of daily experience, allowing the spirit to soar in a state of neurological purity. Fact 5. Heart-brain coherence and the electromagnetic aura of prayer. The fifth fact centers on the heart, which produces the body's strongest electromagnetic field up to 5,000 times stronger than the brain's. When you practice sincere prayer of gratitude or lamentation, you enter a state of heart coherence. This is a measurable physiological state where the heart's rhythm becomes highly ordered and sine wave-like. Fasting facilitates this by removing the metabolic noise of digestion, which often causes the heart to beat faster or more erratically. Spiritually, this coherence is the alignment of the heart and mind in this state. The heart acts as a master oscillator, pulling the brain's electrical rhythms into its calm, powerful frequency. Science shows that this field can be measured several feet away from the body, affecting the very atmosphere of the room. As you drift into sleep, this coherent field acts as a protective aura, shielding the subconscious from the static of the world and ensuring that your rest is an unbroken communion with the divine. You are not just a body in a bed. You are a pulsating field of prayerful energy, vibrating in harmony with the laws of the universe. Fact 6. The vagus nerve oscillation and the bridge to the divine. The vagus nerve is the physical structure closest to what ancient mystics called the silver cord, the link between the dense physical body and the subtle layers of consciousness. Biologically, it is the commander of the parasympathetic nervous system, stretching from the brainstem down to the vital organs. In a state of prolonged fasting, the absence of gastric distension and digestive hormonal signaling allows the vagus nerve to enter a state of pure intent. It ceases to be a messenger of nutrient absorption and becomes a conductor of profound serenity. Biologically, it is the commander of the parasympathetic nervous system, stretching from the brainstem down to the vital organs. In a state of prolonged fasting, the absence of gastric distension and digestive hormonal signaling allows the vagus nerve to enter a state of pure intent. It ceases to be a messenger of nutrient absorption and becomes a conductor of profound serenity. Rhythmic prayer, specifically when involving prolonged exhalation, stimulates the vagus to send absolute safety signals to the amygdala. Spiritually, this is the silencing of the flesh. When the vagus is toned by fasting, it acts as a lower resistance bridge for consciousness to descend into the depths of sleep without the interference of fear or survival instincts. Science reveals that heart rate variability (HRV) increases drastically in this state, creating a resonance that allows sleep to become a continuous form of meditation. The physical body becomes a perfectly tuned temple, capable of receiving higher frequencies of peace, while the conscious mind rests. Rhythmic prayer, specifically when involving prolonged exhalation, stimulates the vagus to send absolute safety signals to the amygdala. Spiritually, this is the silencing of the flesh. When the vagus is toned by fasting, it acts as a low-resistance bridge for consciousness to descend into the depths of sleep without the interference of fear or survival instincts. Science reveals that heart rate variability (HRV) increases drastically in this state, creating a resonance that allows sleep to become a continuous form of meditation. The physical body becomes a perfectly tuned temple, capable of receiving higher frequencies of peace while the conscious mind rests. Fact 7. Neuropeptide Y suppression and the transcendence of desire. Neuropeptide Y (NPY) is one of the most potent chemical messengers in the brain, responsible for driving hunger and the relentless pursuit of external rewards. Fact 7. Neuropeptide Y suppression and the transcendence of desire. Neuropeptide Y (NPY) is one of the most potent chemical messengers in the brain, responsible for driving hunger and the relentless pursuit of external rewards. In spiritual terms, NPY is the biological engine of attachment and concupiscence. When we fast and enter deep prayer, the levels of NPY in the hypothalamus are initially challenged and then profoundly recalibrated. This drop in the consumption impulse creates a psychological vacuum that prayer fills with a sense of spiritual fullness. Scientifically, the stabilization of NPY during nocturnal fasting prevents the microarousals that fragment sleep architecture. By removing physical appetite, we free the brain to develop an appetite for the transcendental. In sleep, this absence of chemical craving allows the reward system, the dopaminergic circuit, to find true rest, avoiding dreams based on anxiety or lack. The result is a sleep of pre-existing satisfaction, where the spirit seeks nothing outside itself, finding in repose a form of silent ecstasy and absolute independence from worldly needs. Fact 23. The amygdala's Sabbath and the neuroscience of spiritual trust. The amygdala is the brain's emotional smoke detector, constantly scanning the environment for threats and triggering the fight or flight response. In our modern overstimulated world, the amygdala is often chronically hyperactive, manifesting spiritually as anxiety and a guarded heart. Fasting provides a metabolic sabbatical for the amygdala by lowering glucose-driven reactivity and reducing inflammatory signals from the gut. Prayer acts as the top-down inhibitory signal from the prefrontal cortex, effectively telling the amygdala, "Be still." This creates a state of biological surrender. As you descend into sleep, your brain is no longer in defense mode. This allows you to cross the threshold into the subconscious without the baggage of fear. Science shows that a quieted amygdala allows for longer durations of stage 3 and 4 deep sleep, where the most profound spiritual integration occurs. You are sleeping in a sanctuary of trust, protected by the chemical peace of your own biology. Fact 24. Ketogenic theta waves and the portal of revelation. As the fast progresses into the night, the liver begins to produce ketone bodies like beta-hydroxybutyrate. These ketones are not just energy. They are signaling molecules that shift the brain's electrical activity. Ketosis naturally favors the production of theta waves, brain frequency associated with deep meditation, vivid imagery, and the twilight state of consciousness. Spiritually, the theta state is the doorway to revelation. By focusing on a sacred truth or a divine presence, while the brain is fueled by stable ketones, you are creating a steady state for spiritual insight. Unlike a sugar-fueled brain, which experiences erratic spikes and crashes, the fasted brain is a stable vessel. This allows the sleeper to maintain a higher level of awareness within the dream state, turning sleep into an active period of spiritual discovery. This theta ketone bridge is the biological basis for the profound, highly structured dreams reported by saints and prophets throughout history. Fact 25. The Circuin surge and the protection of the divine blueprints, specifically SIRT1, are a family of signaling proteins known as longevity genes. They are the cellular guardians responsible for DNA repair and the maintenance of telomeres, the protective caps on our chromosomes. Science has confirmed that SIRT1 activity is dramatically upregulated during fasting. During sleep, these proteins travel along your genetic code, repairing the nicks and errors accumulated from environmental and psychological stress. Spiritually, this is the restoration of the original image. Prayer provides the calm, low cortisol environment that allows these sirtuins to operate without inhibition. By fasting and praying, you are providing your body with the biological keys to its own repair manual. Each hour of this fasted, prayerful rest is a journey back toward your pristine biological design state where your DNA is restored to its healthy original intent, ensuring you wake up with a body and spirit that are more structurally aligned with eternal vitality. Fact 26. The vagus nerve, the bioelectric silver cord. The vagus nerve is the longest nerve of the autonomic nervous system and serves as the primary component of the parasympathetic division. In spiritual science, it can be viewed as the silver cord, the channel through which life force and peace flow into the physical organs. Fasting increases vagal tone, making the body more resilient and less prone to stress. Prayer, through the rhythmic chanting or slow breathing common in contemplative practice, is a direct form of vagus nerve stimulation. Together, they create a superhighway of serenity. This high vagal tone signals the heart to slow down and the lungs to broaden, inducing a state of coherent rest. During sleep, this nerve prevents the spikes of anxiety from waking you, allowing you to remain in a deep, prayerful slumber. The science of the vagus nerve proves that the peace we feel in prayer is not an abstract concept. It is a measurable, bioelectric reality that governs our very ability to heal and rest. Fact 27. Autophagy and the altar of cellular sacrifice. Autophagy, from the Greek meaning self-eating, is the cell's mechanism for recycling its own damaged components to create new, healthy parts. Spiritually, this is the biological manifestation of dying to the old self. During a fasted sleep, the absence of insulin signals the body to identify and dismantle misfolded proteins and exhausted mitochondria, the cellular dross of the past. Prayer acts as the spiritual catalyst that aligns the mind with this process of renewal. As the cells perform this ritual of sacrifice, you are being recharged from the inside out. You are not just a body resting. You are a temple being renovated. Science confirms that autophagy is most active when insulin is low and growth hormone is high, the exact environment created by a night of fasted prayer. You wake up with a brain and body that are literally fresher, having undergone a molecular resurrection while you slept in the silence of the divine. Fact 28. The heart's electromagnetic field as a shield of grace. The human heart produces an electromagnetic field that is thousands of times stronger than that of the brain, extending several feet beyond the body. Science has discovered that when we experience sincere gratitude or devotion during prayer, this field becomes coherent, moving in a smooth, rhythmic sine wave pattern. Fasting supports this by removing the metabolic static caused by late-night digestion, which often forces the heart into a chaotic rhythm. Spiritually, this coherent field acts as a shield of grace. As you drift into sleep, your heart acts as a master oscillator, pulling your brain's electrical waves into its own peaceful frequency. This heart-brain synchronization ensures that your subconscious is protected from the noise of the world. You are sleeping within a pulsating field of prayerful energy, vibrating in harmony with the laws of the universe, ensuring a rest that is both biologically ordered and spiritually profound. Fact 29. Neuropeptide Y and the fasted transcendence of craving. YNPY is a chemical messenger in the brain that drives hunger in the pursuit of external rewards. In spiritual terms, NPY is the biological root of attachment and craving. When we fast and enter deep prayer, NPY levels in the hypothalamus are This drop in the consumption impulse creates a psychological vacuum that prayer fills with a sense of divine fullness. Scientifically, the stabilization of NPY prevents the microarousals that fragment our sleep cycles. By removing physical appetite, we free the brain to develop an appetite for the infinite. In sleep, this absence of chemical craving allows the dopaminergic reward system to find true rest. You are no longer hungry for the world. You are satiated by the spirit. The result is a sleep of pre-existing satisfaction, where you find in repose a form of silent ecstasy and absolute independence from worldly needs. Fact 30. The pineal gland's decalcification and the awakening of vision. The pineal gland, often called the seat of the soul, is responsible for secreting melatonin, but it is also the biological transducer of spiritual light. Modern diets often lead to pineal calcification, where the gland becomes encrusted with calcium deposits, dulling its spiritual sensitivity. Fasting initiates a systemic mineral shift that helps to calcify this sacred gland. Spiritually, this is the purification of the third eye. As you enter sleep in a fasted state, the pineal gland is liberated from metabolic clutter. When paired with prayer, the gland is more sensitive to the subtle electromagnetic shifts that occur during deep rest. This leads to more vivid, structured, and spiritually significant dreams. Science confirms that a purified pineal gland is more capable of producing the profound states of consciousness required for illuminated sleep, where the boundary between the dreamer and the divine becomes a thin, transparent veil. Fact 31. The glymphatic flow as a sacred baptism of the neurons. The glymphatic system is the brain's specialized waste clearance pathway, a macroscopic fluid transport system that utilizes the perivascular spaces formed by astrocytes to eliminate soluble proteins and metabolites from the central nervous system during sleep, and specifically during a fast. The lack of insulin allows the brain's interstitial space to expand significantly, facilitating a more powerful flow of cerebrospinal fluid. Spiritually, this is the physical manifestation of purgation. In ancient traditions, the night was viewed as a time for the soul to be washed clean of the day's attachments. The science of this fact reveals that the rhythmic pulsation of this cleansing fluid is synchronized with your heart rate and your breathing. When you pray with slow, deep, diaphragmatic breaths before sleep, you are effectively pumping this biological holy water through your brain tissue. This process removes beta-amyloid plaques, metabolic dross that clouds the mind, ensuring that the mirror of the soul is polished. You wake up, not just rested, but purified, with a clarity of thought that allows the divine to reflect more clearly in your daily life. Fact 32. The Gabargic shield and the chemical grace of surrender. In the intersection of neurochemistry and mysticism, surrender is not merely a psychological act. It is a molecular transition. As the body enters deeper ketosis during a fast, The liver produces acetylcholine, which cross the blood-brain barrier and alter the brain's neurochemical balance. Specifically, it promotes the conversion of glutamate, the brain's primary excitatory neurotransmitter associated with anxiety and the ego's survival, noisy, into GABA, camomino, butyric acid, the primary inhibitory neurotransmitter. GABA acts as a chemical cushion, inducing a state of profound biological peace. Spiritually, this is the peace that surpasses all understanding. When you pray in this state, your mind is not fighting a wall of mental static. Instead, the prayers fall into a GABA-rich neural environment, allowing for a profound sense of oneness and spiritual submission. This chemical shift ensures that when you enter sleep, your mind is not fighting the day's battles, but is instead resting in a chemically induced state of serene surrender, protected by a biological shield of grace. Fact 33. The amygdala, Sabbath, and the threshold of fearless prayer. The amygdala is the brain's alarm system, the almond-shaped cluster of nuclei responsible for the fight or flight response and the processing of fear. In our modern world, the amygdala is often chronically hyperactive, manifesting spiritually as a lack of trust and a heart guarded against the infinite. Fasting provides a metabolic sabbatical for the amygdala by lowering glucose-driven reactivity. Prayer acts as the top-down inhibitory signal from the prefrontal cortex, the seat of higher reasoning and moral contemplation, effectively telling the amygdala, "Be still." This creates a state of biological surrender. As you descend into sleep, your brain is no longer in defense mode. This allows you to cross the threshold into the subconscious without the baggage of fear. Science shows that a quieted amygdala allows for longer durations of slow-wave rest, where the most profound spiritual integration occurs. You are sleeping in a sanctuary of trust, where the smoke detector of the ego has been deactivated by the combined power of fasting and devotion. Fact 34. The Serquin surge and the restoration of the divine blueprints, specifically SIRT1, are a family of signaling proteins known as longevity genes. They are the cellular guardians, responsible for DNA repair and the maintenance of telomeres. Protective caps on our chromosomes. Science has confirmed that sirtuin activity is dramatically upregulated during fasting. During sleep, these proteins travel along your genetic code, repairing the nicks and errors accumulated from environmental and psychological stress. Spiritually, this is the restoration of the original image. Prayer provides the calm, low-cortisol environment that allows these sirtuins to operate without inhibition, as high cortisol levels can blunt their effect. By fasting and praying, you are providing your body with the biological keys to its own repair manual. Each hour of this fasted, prayerful rest is a journey back toward your pristine biological designer state, where your DNA is restored to its healthy original intent, ensuring you wake up with a body and spirit that are more structurally aligned with eternal vitality. Fact 35. The hardest electromagnetic field as a shield of grace. The human heart produces an electromagnetic field that is thousands of times stronger than that of the brain, extending several feet beyond the body. Science has discovered that when we experience sincere gratitude or devotion during prayer, this field becomes coherent, moving in a smooth, rhythmic sine wave pattern. Fasting supports this by removing the metabolic static caused by late-night digestion, which often forces the heart into a chaotic rhythm. Spiritually, this coherent field acts as a shield of grace. As you drift into sleep, your heart acts as a master oscillator, pulling your brain's electrical waves into its own peaceful frequency. This heart-brain synchronization ensures that your subconscious is protected from the noise of the world. You are sleeping within a pulsating field of prayerful energy, vibrating in harmony with the laws of the universe, ensuring a rest that is both biologically ordered and spiritually profound. Fact 36. The third eye decalcification and the awakening of vision. The pineal gland, often called the seat of the soul, is responsible for secreting melatonin, but it is also the biological transducer of spiritual light. Modern diets often lead to pineal calcification, where the gland becomes encrusted with calcium deposits, dulling its spiritual sensitivity. Fasting initiates a systemic mineral shift that helps decalcify this sacred gland. Spiritually, this is the purification of the internal eye. As you enter sleep in a fasted state, the pineal gland is liberated from metabolic clutter, When paired with prayer, the gland is more sensitive to the subtle electromagnetic shifts that occur during deep rest. This leads to more vivid, structured, and spiritually significant dreams. Science confirms that a purified pineal gland is more capable of producing the profound states of consciousness required for illuminated sleep, where the boundary between the dreamer and the divine becomes a thin, transparent veil. Fact 37. Neuropeptide, Y, and the fasted transcendence of craving. YNPY is a chemical messenger in the brain that drives hunger and the pursuit of external rewards. In spiritual terms, NPY is the biological root of attachment and craving. When we fast and enter deep prayer, NPY levels in the hypothalamus are This drop in the consumption impulse creates a psychological vacuum that prayer fills with a sense of divine fullness. Scientifically, the stabilization of NPY prevents the microarousals that fragment our sleep cycles. By removing physical appetite, we free the brain to develop an appetite for the infinite. In sleep, this absence of chemical craving allows the dopaminergic reward system to find true rest. You are no longer hungry for the world. You are satiated by the spirit. The result is a sleep of pre-existing satisfaction, where you find in repose a form of silent ecstasy and absolute independence from worldly needs. Fact 38. The vagus nerve. The bioelectric silver cord. The vagus nerve is the longest nerve of the autonomic nervous system and serves as the primary component of the parasympathetic division. In spiritual science, it can be viewed as the silver cord, the channel through which life force and peace flow into the physical organs. Fasting increases vagal tone, making the body more resilient and less prone to stress. Prayer, through the rhythmic chanting or slow breathing common in contemplative practice, is a direct form of vagus nerve stimulation. Fact 84. The lowering of core body temperature and the coolness of spirit to enter the deepest stages of sleep. The body's core temperature must drop by approximately 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Digestion is a thermogenic process, creating heat as it breaks down By fasting, you eliminate this internal heat engine, allowing your body to reach its optimal sleep temperature much faster. Spiritually, this physiological coolness is the stillness of the waters. Prayer contributes to this by reducing the thermogenic effect of psychological anxiety, which can keep the body in a state of hypermetabolic warmth. This biological signal tells the brain that it is safe to descend into the most restorative, non-REM stages. Your bed becomes a cool sanctuary, and your sleep becomes a period of profound thermal and metabolic conservation, where the soul finds its deepest rest in the absence of inflammatory heat. Fact 85. The protection of the BBB from systemic and the blood-brain barrier. BBB is the brain's most critical defense system, preventing toxins and pathogens from entering sensitive neural tissue. Late-night eating can cause leaky gut and the release of endotoxins into the blood, which can temporarily weaken the BBB's tight junctions. Fasting strengthens these junctions by reducing inflammatory signaling and insulin-driven permeability. Spiritually, this is the sealing of the castle gates. Prayer adds another layer of defense by lowering the production of stress hormones like cortisol, which are known to degrade the BBB's integrity. By practicing fasted prayer, you are effectively sealing your brain from the chemical and emotional pollution of the day. This ensures that the 2 hours and 20 minutes of your rest are spent in a fortified, pristine environment, allowing you to wake up with a sharp, resilient intellect that is shielded from the noise of the modern world. Fact 86. The modulation of the default mode network and divine union. The default mode network, DMN, is the neural circuit most associated with the self-reflection, and chronic rumination. An overactive DMN is the biological signature of the ego in distress, constantly worrying about the past or future. Science has shown that fasting can dampen the overactivity of the DMN. Spiritually, this is the thinning of the ego. Prayer further shifts the focus from the self to a higher purpose, which acts as a neurological mute button for the DMN during sleep. This allows for more objective and peaceful processing of the day's events. Your dreams are less about personal anxieties and more about universal themes of peace and connection. This leads to a sense of ego dissolution during the night, allowing you to wake up feeling connected to the world around you rather than isolated in your own worries. Fact 87. The synergistic sparing of glutathione for spiritual detoxification. Glutathione is the body's master antioxidant, responsible for neutralizing free radicals and detoxifying every cell. When the body is busy digesting food, it uses a significant portion of its glutathione reserve to manage metabolic byproducts. By fasting, you are sparing this glutathione. Spiritually, this is the preservation of the life force. During the night, your body redirects this powerful antioxidant to the brain and liver to perform deep tissue detoxification. Prayer facilitates this by lowering the oxidative stress caused by psychological tension. This ensures that your body has a surplus of detoxifying power while you rest, resulting in clearer skin, brighter eyes, and a sharper mind upon awakening. You are not just resting. You are undergoing a molecular confession where the toxins of the day are washed away by the chemistry of your own devotion. Fact 88. The influence of ketosis on the GABA-glutamate ratio. As your fast progresses into the night, your brain begins to rely on ketone bodies like beta-hydroxy. These ketones are not just energy. They are signaling molecules that increase the ratio of GABA to glutamate. Glutamate is the brain's gas pedal, associated with excitation and GABA is the brake pedal, the foundation of serenity and surrender. Spiritually, this is the chemicalization of peace. A fasted brain is naturally more inhibited in a healthy way, meaning it is less prone to the sudden spikes of neural activity that cause nightmares or sudden waking. Prayer reinforces this GABAergic state by providing a calm, repetitive focal point. You are effectively using your body's own fat-burning mechanisms to produce the ultimate natural sedative for your mind, ensuring a sleep that is undisturbed by the chemical storms of the world. Fact 89. The reduction of lipid peroxidation in the neuronal membranes. Lipid peroxidation is the process where oxidative stress attacks the fats that make up our cell membranes. Since the brain is the fattiest organ in the body, it is highly vulnerable to this neural rust. Fasting increases the expression of genes that protect against lipid peroxidation. Spiritually, this is the protection of the sacred vessel. As you prayerfully surrender to sleep, you are minimizing the metabolic fire that creates these free radicals. This ensures that the delicate membranes of your neurons remain fluid and healthy, supporting better communication between cells and protecting you against the long-term effects of brain aging. You are effectively oiling the gears of your soul-less instrument while you rest in a state of fasted devotion, ensuring that the light of consciousness can flow through you without resistance. Fact 90. The creation of nocturnal hormesis and the strengthening of the soul hormesis is the biological phenomenon where a small amount of stress, like fasting, triggers a massive defensive and repair response that makes the body stronger. By fasting and praying, you are inducing a state of nocturnal hormesis. Your body perceives the lack of food and the mental discipline as a challenge, and in response, it upregulates its entire repair and defense system. Spiritually, this is the forging of the spirit. This means your sleep is not a passive event. It is an active training session for your cells. You wake up more resilient, more focused, and more grounded because your body and mind were forged in the quiet, disciplined environment of your fasted rest. You have used the challenges of the flesh to strengthen the foundations of the spirit, turning your night into a master class in human resilience. Fact 91. The optimization of SIRT3 in mitochondrial quantum efficiency deep within the mitochondria, a specific sirtuinous IRT3X as the master orchestrator of metabolic health. During a fasted sleep, SIRT3 levels reach their zenith, deacetylating enzymes that allow the mitochondria to process energy with near-perfect efficiency. Spiritually, this is the clarification of the inner light. When the mitochondria burn ketones in a state of prayerful rest, they produce fewer reactive oxygen species free radicals, effectively reducing the noise in the cellular environment. Some quantum biologists suggest that this high efficiency allows for better coherence in the biophoton emission of the cells. You are not just resting. You are ensuring that your cellular engines are vibrating at their highest possible frequency. Prayer provides the emotional stability that prevents stress spikes from disrupting this delicate quantum balance, allowing you to wake up with a vitality that feels both biological and divine. Fact 92. The restoration of the blood-aqueous barrier and the clarity of the witness. The eyes are not only the windows to the soul, but are physically an extension of the DNA. The blood-aqueous barrier regulates the chemistry of the ocular environment, protecting the retina from systemic toxins. Fasting reduces the metabolic turbidity of the blood, allowing this barrier to function with maximum integrity. Spiritually, this is the refining of the witness. As you sleep in a fasted state, the body redirects specific antioxidants, like lutein and zeaxanthin, to the macula. Prayer ensures a state of deep ocular relaxation by quieting the visual cortex. This synergy means that upon awakening, your sight, both the physical ability to see and the spiritual ability to perceive truth, is sharpened. You wake up with eyes that have been bathed in a biological and spiritual cleansing solution, ready to see the world with the clarity of a renewed spirit. Fact 93. The upregulation of chaperone proteins and the perfection of form. Fasting induces the production of molecular chaperones such as heat shock protein 70, which assist in the proper folding of proteins and the dismantling of toxic protein aggregates. Spiritually, this represents the divine correction of form. During a prayerful, fasted sleep, these chaperones act as a sanctification crew, ensuring that the structural proteins of your brain are aligned with their intended functional truth. Misfolded proteins are often the result of living in a state of metabolic and spiritual crookedness. By surrendering to the fast and the prayer, you are allowing your biology to perform a structural audit. This ensures that your neural architecture is not just repaired, but upright, providing a stable foundation for the complex thoughts and deep peace you wish to carry into the world. Fact 94. The Alpha-Theta Bridge and the consolidation of revelation. As the fast deepens into the night, the brain naturally lingers on the Alpha-Theta Bridge, the frequency between 4 Hz and 8 Hz. This is the realm of hypnagogia, where the conscious and subconscious minds meet. Spiritually, this is the gateway of the prophet. The fasted brain, fueled by stable ketones, can maintain this delicate bridge without the sudden drop-offs caused by glucose crashes. Prayer acts as the steering mechanism for this state. While in this frequency, the brain consolidates the spiritual intentions of the day into the long-term memory structures of the cortex. This means your prayers are literally being written into your brain's hardware. You are not just dreaming. You are participating in a nightly session of spiritual architecture, where your deepest values are woven into the very fabric of your mind. Fact 95. The sparing of the enzyme reserve and the conservation of life force. The human body has a finite capacity for enzyme production, much of which is usually squandered on the complex breakdown of late-night meals. By fasting, you are practicing metabolic conservation. Spiritually, this is the stewardship of the vital spark. During the night, this spared enzymatic capital is redirected toward the immune system and the repair of the telomere. Prayer facilitates this by lowering the energy costs of anxiety. This redirection of resources is why practitioners of fasted prayer often exhibit a timeless quality, a preservation of youth and energy that defies their chronological age. You are allowing your body as internal alchemists to work on your longevity rather than your digestion, ensuring that your life force is spent on the expansion of your spirit rather than the processing of the mundane. Fact 96. The reset of leptin sensitivity and the sovereignty of contentment. Leptin is the hormone that signals enough to the brain. In a world of overconsumption, we often become leading to a spiritual and physical state of perpetual lack. Fasting resets the leptin receptors in the hypothalamus, restoring your ability to feel satisfied. Spiritually, this is the sovereignty of contentment. When you pair this reset with the prayer of sufficient grace, you are training your nervous system to exist in a state of abundance, regardless of external circumstances. This reset prevents the midnight hunger that is often as much emotional as it is physical. You sleep in the peace of the satisfied, a deep, unbroken rest that allows you to wake up without the drive to consume, but rather, the drive to contribute. Fact 97. The reduction of glutamate toxicity and the silence of the mind. Glutamate is the brain's primary excitatory neurotransmitter, but, in excess, it causes excitotoxicity, leading to neural burnout and spiritual agitation. Fasting increases the brain's ability to clear excess glutamate through the upregulation of glutamate transporters. Spiritually, this is the quieting of the internal chatter. Prayer adds to this by stimulating the release of GABA, the brain's natural inhibitor. This creates a neurochemical blank canvas during sleep. You are not sleeping in a storm of electrical noise. You are sleeping in a pristine silence. This lack of chemical chatter allows the soul to hear the still, small voice within, turning the 2 hours and 20 minutes of your rest into a profound session of spiritual listening and neurological recovery. Fact 98. The synchronization of circadian oscillators and universal harmony. Science has discovered that every organ possesses its own peripheral clock, or circadian Fasting is the primary signal that synchronizes these clocks, with the master clock in the brain, the est. Spiritually, this is cosmic alignment. When you fast and pray, you are bringing your entire biological being into a single, unified rhythm that is in harmony with the rotation of the earth and the cycles of light and dark. This alignment reduces internal friction. During sleep, this means every cell in your body is resting at the exact same time, leading to a depth of restoration that is impossible when the body is metabolically fragmented. You wake up feeling whole, as if every part of your being is moving in the same direction toward your highest purpose. Fact 99. The enhancement of microglial surveillance and the garden of the soul. Microglia are the brain's resident immune cells, acting as gardeners that prune away damaged synapses. During a fasted sleep, these cells shift from a pro-inflammatory defense mode to a surveillance and repair mode. Spiritually, this is the tending of the soul's garden. In the silence of the night, these cells move through your neural pathways, removing the weeds of traumatic memories and stressful associations. Prayer provides the safety signal that allows this pruning to be constructive rather than destructive. By fasting and praying, you are allowing your brain to perform a nightly spiritual landscaping, ensuring that your mental environment remains a place of beauty, order, and peace, rather than a thicket of unresolved stress. Fact 100. The transformation of sleep into a biological and spiritual sanctuary. The final fact is the ultimate synthesis, the transformation of sleep from a passive biological lapse into an active sanctuary of the soul. When you master the serene science of fasting and prayer, you have created a 2-hour and 20-minute window where your biology and your spirit are no longer in conflict. You have aligned your insulin, your cortisol, your neurotransmitters, and your heart rate variability with the highest intentions of your soul. You are no longer just a body that is sleeping. You are a conscious being undergoing a total systemic upgrade. This state is the pinnacle of human potential arrest that is so deep, so pure, and so aligned with the divine that it becomes a source of infinite energy and wisdom for the life you live in the light. You have now traveled through the 100 facts of serene science. You have seen how the voluntary silence of the stomach leads to the profound awakening of the mind, and how the intentional surrender of the heart leads to the absolute restoration of the body. As you prepare to enter the deep hours of your own rest, carry this knowledge not as a burden, but as a shield. Know that as you close your eyes in a state of fasted prayer, you are stepping into a biological sanctuary designed for your perfection. Your cells are ready to repair, your brain is ready to wash, and your spirit is ready to soar. Thank you for being part of this journey on the Serene Science channel. The science is clear, and the spirit is willing. May your rest be deep, your DNA be restored, and your awakening be filled with the light of 1,000 suns. Sleep now, in the arms of the divine. Good night.